Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm your host, Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. Joining me, as he does every Friday, is Chris Dearborn, Managing Director of Nasdaq's Markets Intelligence Desk, for the weekly markets review on the mid. Fantastic weather to kick off the weekend. Happy about that. We welcomed another IPO to the Nasdaq stock market this morning, so it's been a pretty good week here at the market site.
Market site, we've had a busy market as well. The markets are ending here on an uptick for the week. You know, there's a lot going on, both on the macro side and then also on the fundamental side for the markets. And also next week is going to be a very, very busy week with a lot of potential headlines that can move the markets as well.
Right, as busy as it was, we saw the market take a little bit of a breather this week with the major averages having quite the performance to kick off the week.
Really did. And with that, what happened was that you saw some of the smaller cap names really rally here. The Nasdaq Composite made a new all-time high. The Russell 2000 made an all-time high. The Dow and the Dow Jones and the S&P 500 did not. But again, some of those major milestones that we have seen are Amazon, Apple, all making new all-time highs.
Right.
So what you're seeing is the smaller cap names really kind of catching up to those larger names where everyone's putting their money in the FANG stocks for a long, long time. And then tech took a breather. Yeah,
we saw a little bit of a breather today. You also had the Nikkei article out of Japan on the overnight warning on the supply chain. But you kind of hear about that.
Right.
You know.
I mean, the macro headlines kind of move things along a little bit, right? So with the ZTE, the Chinese cell phone company maker, coming to an agreement with the U.S., that kind of put people back into tech a little bit. So you saw a little bit of a rally there. And then not to forget, you've got a lot of companies having their annual meetings. And out of those is coming a lot of news that is moving the markets. You've got companies like Sonic having it, Monster Beverages having one, and all those stocks are seeing upticks out of the news coming out of that. So there's a lot of one-off items that are still driving stocks in different sectors, just like earnings would, that are helping keeping this market moving along.
Well, I think the news that everyone's really focused on are the trade wars, and it seems as if Trump was on France and Canada this week, and of course we have G7 over the weekend, kicking off later tonight. So I think the markets are really going to be hyper-focused on what's happening on the macro level.
A lot of headlines that come out of there can absolutely move the markets. Again, the markets are shrugging off those headlines at the moment because it's been that same type of rhetoric. You shake your fist, get people to the table to negotiate, and then get something out of it. It's been a mantra that he's been doing for a long time. People expect it, and we'll wait to see what the final decision is coming out of it. Again, a lot of headlines to come out over this weekend, and that could be really market moving.
Let's talk about the trading week ahead, because we have a number of manufacturing data that's going to be really key as the market continues to worry about inflation and potential rate hikes and so forth. And of course, retail sales. That's an important piece of numbers to look at as well.
The FOMC is coming out. It's 100% weighted that they're going to raise the interest rates at this meeting, and everyone expects that. It's already been priced into the market. And on that, you have the retail sales CPI and PPI, which is going to be a look behind, but also look forward as to see what they're thinking. Really, the look now is it going to be 3 or 4 rate hikes? And we're back to that 3 rate hike mantra for 2018. Unless something changes here, really that's where we're going to be. Unemployment still at an all-time low. Non-farm payroll came out last Friday, and you see uptick in wages. You see unemployment at all-time lows. You see people hiring left and right. There's more jobs out there than people looking. Right? So that's kind of changed a little bit. It's the best report we've seen in almost a decade. So with that, you're looking at people spending money again. And remember, the GDP, we came out with the revised number last week, is 2/3 of consumer spend. If people are working, people are earning, people are going to be spending, and that's good for companies.
All right, and we also have next Friday quadruple
reaching
expiration, which means you have the week off, because I will be broadcasting. We're taking the show on the road in Philadelphia to Nasdaq. Philex Options Trading Floor will be co-hosting that with TD Ameritrade, and a number of other guests and Nasdaq thought leaders will be joining me throughout the day. So that's always fun for me. And so yeah, we also have a big options week as well.
We do. So we got 2 things that you have to note coming up, and possibly 3. So tonight, after the close, a few hours afterwards, FTSE Russell puts out their addition-deletion list for the Russell 2000 and 3000. People are like, what does that mean? What is that important? That's very important, because what that means is they do an annual rebalance, and with it, they're putting the minimum market cap in for those stocks. And they're going to let those companies know and the rest of the public know what is being added, what's being deleted. The whisper number we're hearing for the minimum market cap is about $160 million. Different brokers have different estimates, but we will find out tonight for sure who's in and who's out. And that rebalance will actually take place June 22nd.
And we'll have FTSE Russell here as well. And we'll also have actually a couple of people on the mid-desk joining us. So and what's important with that is it's one of the most important closing auctions of any trading day in the year.
It is always one of the highest volume days in the market, period. You have the quad witch with the end of the quarter coming up with June, which also includes the S&P rebalances and the Nasdaq index rebalances, and then the following week you have the Russell,
Right.
so you have two of the highest volume days potentially for the year. Though this February we did have high volumes to start when the market sold off. Look for these days to come close to that 10, 11, 12 billion share
Right.
day count, which will be market moving for everybody.
All right. Well, thanks very much, Chris, for joining me. And thank you for joining me. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.